Welcome to the Echo Sportscast number 63.
I'm Ben Sargent.
And I'm Jackson Bull. Today we've got lots of NDA action, starting with boys basketball. The regular season got underway this past week. We have highlights from the Chippewa Franco game as the Ravens start off their season with a convincing win.
Girls volleyball also got started on Tuesday night. We visited the West Ferris gym as West Ferris took on Mattawa. We caught up with the Trojans head coach and captain after a straight set victory.
NDA Football All Stars have been announced, and we have all the details from the best players across the three high school teams.
And finally, speaking of All Stars, the Lakers Lacrosse also had a number of their players named on the All-Canadian teams as well as picking up some major honors.
All of that and more on the way after a word from our title sponsor, Source for Sports.
It's almost that time of year. Early mornings at the rink, fresh notebooks and backpacks, and a community gearing up for another great season of varsity sports. At Source for Sports North Bay, we're proud to be part of it all. Whether it's finding your kid's first pair of skates, gearing up for tryouts, or outfitting your team for the season ahead, we've got you covered. Because here, we're not just a sports store, we're neighbors, coaches, teammates, and fans. And we're proud to cheer you on every shift, step, and stride of the way. Visit Source for Sports North Bay at 1321 Fisher Street and let us help you along your way. So Chippewa hosted Franco on Tuesday night in senior boys basketball. I was there for the opening quarter, and Chippewa was able to build themselves a nice little lead. They stopped Franco really from scoring in transition and ended the first quarter up 21-7 after the 8 minutes. And there was this really cool thing on Chippewa's Facebook page where they have a video of Ravens forward Cooper Jackson in transition, finishing it off with the dunk as Chippewa comes away with a 67-37 victory to start the regular season. And boom goes the dynamite. Drop the mic, whatever phrase you want to use. What a start for the Ravens as they cleared Franco 30 points.
Yeah, obviously a convincing win, and it's always exciting to see kids who can dunk in the NDA. It's becoming more prominent and popular now, but before it was pretty scarce, and especially in transition on the move dunk, not just when you're under the basket and you're 7 feet tall, but super great for them and for that team.
I remember when I was in high school, I remember people being able to dunk quite regularly. Because are the basketball hoops lower than like the NBA like regulation?
I don't think so. I think it's just the 10 feet. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But I remember because I was talking to Isaac, who's our content director, who also played for Chippewa. He's a little bit older than me, so right around when I was there. And he actually has a really funny story of them going out east, because that was back when Tim Simpson was running the program, and he took them all out east. And I guess some of the parents weren't happy because they went all the way out there, and then Tim played like all the best players, so some of the players never got to play. Which was just kind of a little funny story. But imagine going all the way out to the East Coast to see your kids play and they don't actually play. But that was back when Chippewa had a program. They still have a program now. I know Mike Mitchell who runs the Spartans, is their head coach. But it's just kind of funny. That whole kind of story is funny to me. But with Mike being at the helm, I think it's going to be. I think Chippewa and Ferris are probably going to be the ones that you're going to have to watch for.
Absolutely. Algonquin has some key players like Sam Jones and Owen Hamilton, and they've got a bunch of guys who really love it. Dane Meyer, big basketball player for Algonquin. But looking at Ferris's history, and then Chippewa met them in the finals, I believe, the last 2 years. So it'll be exciting.
Yeah, and it's fun to get. Like, as I said before, I feel like boys basketball, girls volleyball is like the more exciting versus the other side, especially with how competitive it is in the NDA. That being said, girls basketball was really good this year because we saw it was a pretty, I think pretty tight. Like, I don't think Scholar ran away with it. They did in the finals, but I don't think they did in the regular season. Like, it wasn't like Chippewa with volleyball. So I'm excited this year because boys basketball, it's a little bit more intense. And the same thing with girls volleyball. There's a little bit more intensity to it, I think, than the other way. So it's exciting to see them back on the court.
Yeah, absolutely. There's lots to look forward to.
So Chippewa, Ferris, teams to beat. Well, I'll try to get a Ferris game next week. I know they start their home opener we're recording this Thursday morning. I know it's Thursday night. They play Scholar. I won't be able to get to that one, but I'll try to get them in the next week. But speaking of what's coming up next week, let's take a look at the schedule. So for juniors, it is West Ferris hosting Chippewa at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. On the Thursday, Franco hosts Northern at 6:30, and Chippewa hosts Schollard at 6:30 at the Chippewa Gym. On the senior side, Northern hosts Mattawa on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Ferris hosts Chippewa on Tuesday at 6:30. And then on Thursday, Mattawa hosts Algonquin at 5. Franco hosts Northern at 5, and Chippewa hosts Schollard at 5 o'clock.
Moving on to volleyball. Girls volleyball also got on the way on Tuesday night, and we got footage from the West Ferris Mattawa game. It was West Ferris who took the command of the court and ended up cruising to a straight set victory, and afterwards we caught up with Trojans' new head coach and captain.
All right, so I'm here with Jason, the head coach of the West Ferris Trojans senior volleyball team. You guys just started your season. Of course, a big win here over Mattawa on straight sets. How does it feel to start off your year in a winning way?
Actually, it feels really great. The girls have been working really hard in practice, and it's nice to start out the season with a win.
So this is your first year coaching. What is your big key for yourself? A little bit of personal growth that you'd like to see over the course of the season.
You know what? I don't really have. How do I say that? I want the girls to have fun. Really, come together, work together, come to practice, have fun, and maybe down the road they can look back and go, "Hey, we had fun in high school."
That's always the key.
Yeah.
Who are some of the teams I think that you're looking at this year as might be some tough opponents that you're looking forward to facing off against?
Well, Chippewa and Schollard always have great teams. They have great coaching, so we're looking at maybe sort of placing in the middle of the pack, but time will tell.
And who are some of the players that you want to shout out? Some of the people you think are going to be key contributors?
My captain, Shelby. I think she's going to be a key player on this team. Olivia Stewart, she plays middle. We got a little height there, so, and hopefully the other girls can come together and grow, and if they need to step up, they'll be there.
Okay, well, congratulations on the first win of the year, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Great. Thank you very much.
So I'm here with Shelby, who's the captain here of the West Ferris Trojans senior girls volleyball team. You guys just won straight sets against Mattawa. How does it feel to kick off your season off, not just with a win, but a pretty convincing one?
I think it was a pretty good game between Mattawa. I know that we need to work on a lot of things, but definitely had a great energy, great playing, great tactics. It was awesome.
So you coming from junior, this is your first year in senior. What did you notice the differences so far between the junior and senior game?
Well, I definitely noticed the people in the crowds, not a lot of them, but I'd say the difference, juniors don't know as much. Seniors have done this before. It's a little easier to do like rotations and stuff like that.
So going into this season, obviously you start things off in the right way. When you go into the rest of the season, what is the most important part in the early parts to try to get for your team? Is it chemistry? Is it just getting some wins on the board? What do you think is the key going to be going in the first couple of weeks?
Definitely, our chemistry is great. I'd say probably lots of drills with passing, setting. Definitely rotations. I think our first game was pretty good. Just need to work on some tiny things.
Okay, so this is something we ask always on the interviews off this way. What is the plan for the future? I know you might not be thinking about it, but what is your plan going into university? You know, we talk to so many smart people and that are going to be doctors and lawyers. What's the plan?
So my plan is to go to college for psychology and then go into university and finish my degree.
Well, congratulations on the win and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
So it was interesting getting to see girls volleyball. Of course, Ferris and Mattawa, both teams, I don't think they're necessarily going to be in contention for the title. I know, like talking with Jason, their head coach, after it's very much is like a let's have fun. Hopefully, like that's what he said in that interview is let's have fun. Let's try and give them a good experience, which I feel like those are like the two different styles of coaching in the NDA. You want people to have a positive experience and come out of it in a good way, and then you're gonna have the people who want to win, and they're a little bit more. And we've seen those programs a number of times across all the NDA. So it looks like Schollard, Algonquin, Chippewa probably going to be the teams to watch, I think, for girls volleyball. And I know that the Chippewa, I believe the seniors, I think, won their opener if I remember, if I saw it on socials correctly, but. I think it's kind of interesting because I was thinking about this after he talked about it and when I went home, because I kind of agree with like having fun. So when I played baseball in high school, I sucked. Like, this isn't surprising to you because we played softball together, but I was not very good. And we had really good people on our team, like people who played like on Ontario rep, and they were really good teams. And, Larry Tugas was our coach. It was very intense. And I don't think I had as much fun as like when we played softball and no one cares, Yeah. So I get that. It was impressive what West Ferris did, but I also understand that kind of, hey, we just want to go out and have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a big piece of it. Especially for those girls, I don't know how their program has been over the last few years, but with new head coach, it's tough. And so I think that going to have fun playing Mattawa in the first game is kind of nice for them to ease into it, I guess. But they will still be competitive, I'm sure, with those bigger schools like Schollard and Algonquin and Chippewa, but it's good.
Yeah, and West Ferris is kind of in that transitionary period, I think, with volleyball on both sides, the boys and girls, because like we saw that with the boys as well, and they upset Franco in the quarterfinals. Again, you still need to continue to apologize to that all year long.
Yeah,
you had zero faith in them, and good for them. But they also had, like, the boys also had that same kind of idea of like, it's more about like, let's go out and see what we can do. And be the underdogs, and that's totally cool. So I'm excited to see maybe Ferris get a chance to play one of the teams that are expected to go a little bit deeper, because I think that'll be an interesting test to what they can do, because they look pretty good against Mattawa.
Yeah, and you have to start the program, and I think they're very close, if not there, to getting the buy-in from the kids. The kids are starting to buy into it, and like you said, hopefully we see them show up against some of the better teams and see what they can do.
And there's some exciting games. So, Jackson, you got the schedule there. What's coming up for this next week?
So on the junior side, Schollard is hosting Algonquin at 5 o'clock on the Tuesday. And on Tuesday, Chippewa is hosting West Ferris at 5 o'clock. And then on Thursday, Northern is hosting Franco at 5:30. Moving to senior, on Tuesday, Franco hosts Mattawa at 5, Schollard hosts Algonquin at 6:30, and Chippewa hosts West Ferris at 6:30. And then on Thursday, Mattawa hosts Algonquin at 5, and Northern hosts Franco at 4.
Now, there's also a little bit of other news for the volleyball. Going back to the boys volleyball, the All Stars were announced this past week. So for the junior boys All-Star game, Team Black sees Jacob DeHaas LaBelle from Algonquin, Cameron Fry from Chippewa, Kenneth Hardcity from Schollard, Nicholas Kendall from Schollard, Cody Lefebvre from Franco, Carter Little from Chippewa, Everett Preston from West Ferris, with Luc Larocque from Franco and Alexis Chevrier from Algonquin coaching. On Team White, Colson Argue from the Bears, Jack Brandon from Chippewa, Alex Davidson from Franco Cite, Ethan Hepburn from Chippewa, Carson Lisk from Franco, Graham Mitchell, and Cameron Walsh from Schollard, with Sylvie Lapierre from Schollard and Christine Cloutier from Algonquin manning the benches.
Moving to the senior boys All-Stars, Team Black features Cohen Arrow from Schollard, Noah Bazinet from Franco, Graham Blake from Schollard, Jacob Fry from Algonquin, Cooper Jackson from Chippewa, Evan Kilfoyle from Chippewa, Os Nunez from West Ferris, Charlie Smith from Chippewa, and coaches Craig Nodwell from Chippewa and Felix Larocque from Franco. Team White has Sullivan Cullum from Schollard, Drayden Fernandez from Chippewa, Logan Gilpin from Chippewa, Sam Jones from Algonquin, Gavin Mitchell from Chippewa, Thatcher O'Halloran from Schollard, Caleb Rye from Franco, and Dante Vezina from Franco, and coached by Zachary Thibault from Algonquin and Nancy Cerullo from Schollard.
Speaking of All-Stars, the NDA Senior Football also released their All-Stars this past week. It starts off with the MVP of the offense went to Nick Corbeil from West Ferris. The MVP from the defense went to Matthew Desbiens from Algonquin. The other offensive All-Stars, of course, a quarterback, just like the MVP. Nick Corbeil gets the quarterback All-Star from West Ferris. Running back goes to Matthew Berube from Algonquin. The receivers, Teo Nadu from Schollard, Lucas Pinnell from Algonquin, Owen Shillington from Algonquin, Wes Buell from West Ferris, and Jesse Deneau from West Ferris. On the offensive line, Otto Selk from Algonquin, Julian Dubé from Algonquin, Owen Cornick from West Ferris, Preston Clark from Schollard, and Colin Kramer from Schollard.
On the defensive side, starting with the D-line, Jake Dore from Algonquin, Matthew Desbiens from Algonquin, Ethan Brooks from Algonquin, and Parker Weller from Schollard. The linebackers are Jack Flickle from West Ferris, Owen Lacroix from West Ferris, Matthew Seguin from Algonquin, and Wesley Strength Dupuis from Algonquin. The defensive backs are Liam Cosgrove from Algonquin, Max Dufresne from Algonquin, Loic Ryan from Algonquin, Lyndon Russell from West Ferris, and Jackson Hines from West Ferris. And finally, our special teams mention to Evan Smetana from Algonquin.
And there we go, the football and volleyball all-stars. And I think that caps off the rest of the season for those two sports, I believe.
I think so too.
I think we're finally done talking about those. Every time we think we're done talking about football, it just creeps its way back up. But it's always good to see a lot of Algonquin players obviously on there as they ended up winning, had a good season. It's good to see some of the Scholar players getting some recognition as well. They played, yes, they didn't win a game, but honestly, they had some very, very close calls. And they had some great players.
Yeah, some great players, absolutely. And then it'll come together. Hopefully that junior team coming off the being the runner-up, they move into senior and they can put it together.
Dear North Bay, you've always been more than a place on the map. You're home to me. This is where I built a life with my husband, raised our kids, and taught in local schools for over 24 years. I'm proud to be part of this community. Earlier this year, my world shifted. After living with anxiety, depression, and PTSD for much of my life, I reached a point where I couldn't keep going alone. Walking into the emergency department at the North Bay Regional Health Center was one of the hardest things I've ever done. But what I found there changed everything. A nurse who made me feel safe, a crisis worker who truly listened. For the first time in a long time, I felt seen. That care gave me hope, and it inspired me to give back by supporting local healthcare so that others in our community can access the same compassionate care I did. If my story resonates with you, I hope you'll consider supporting the NBRHC Foundation. Please visit nbrhcfoundation.ca or call 705-495-8125 to give. Because mental health is health. With gratitude, Tiffany Van Meer.
So last week, Jackson, you were supposed to tell me all about this NDA hockey tournament that was going on, and guess what? You didn't. But it's happening, and thankfully Tyler from Scholar, their head coach, Tyler Miller, sent me all the information that we needed, which is good. So I'm going to go out and get some footage from it from today and tomorrow, which will be, for people listening, will be Friday. It wraps up on Friday evening, but it was interesting. You went out to the early game before we came in to record this. Chippewa not having a great start against the Sudbury team, but how did I think they played? Did they play Cora?
Yeah, Cora from the Sioux.
How did Cora look?
Cora looked great. They were expecting a different Chippewa team than what was there. They were expecting. We've battled with them in the finals of this tournament for a few years now. They're quick. They didn't need to use their physicality too much, and they have the system down. You can tell everybody knows what's going on before it happens, and it's tough to react, especially for the Chippewa kids.
Yeah. So I'm planning to go out. I know I'm going to get the Algonquin game that's going to happen this afternoon alongside. I think they're playing Cora. I think at like 12:30, I believe it is. And then tomorrow morning, I'm going to go see the Scholar stuff. But we do, by the time this comes out, because all this stuff will already be done, there are a couple of games that you guys can still catch. And if you want to grab the finals, for the semifinals, they start at 2 o'clock at Memorial Gardens. The second semi is at 3:30 at the Gardens. And finally, the finals, 7:30 at Memorial Gardens. Kind of a neat tournament. It's nice to see teams from, I believe it's Sudbury, the Sioux, Timmins, maybe?
Yeah, Timmins couldn't make it because of weather, but were invited and were supposed to come.
Yeah, because I know that there was a schedule that ended up getting changed. Of course, not the nicest weather out there, but always a fun hockey tournament. I know like the NDA puts on a lot of these tournaments, or We saw Scarlet and Gold from volleyball. I believe it's volleyball. There are basketball tournaments that are happening. I think before the boys basketball started, I think there was also a tournament that Algonquin was involved in as well.
Yeah, Chippewa and Ferris went to a tournament. I don't know where it was, and Ferris ended up beating Chippewa senior boys in the semi of that tournament.
And there's only the one hockey game next week in NDA action, and it's going to be Scholar versus Algonquin at 8 p.m. at Sam Jack's. So if you want to catch some more regular season action, it should be a good clash between what we see as the top two teams in that league. I still need to get to a Chippewa Algonquin game. I realize because every game I've gotten to, Scholar's been involved, because the only time that Chippewa and Algonquin played was the one day, it was like a Saturday, and I wasn't able to get there. So I do want to see that, and I think the next time they clash is like the 17th, so a couple of weeks from now.
Also, we're recording it on Thursday. Tomorrow morning, 8:30 in the tournament, Chippewa Algonquin.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so that'll have already happened, but we'll see how that goes. And with contact, we'll see how it goes with contact.
Yeah, we'll have more updates for you next week, including the results on how the NDA teams did at the tournament. But yeah, if you get a chance to go today, check it out, Memorial Gardens. I don't think there's a charge to get in, is there? You can just walk in and watch some exciting NDA hockey. And one last piece of hockey news was sent in to us from the Northern Ontario Hockey Association, or you may know them as the NOHA. For those interested in a couple of the camps that they're running at Christmas time, starting on December 27th, ranging all the way from U7 all the way up to U18 here in North Bay. But there are also camps happening outside of North Bay and in Northern Ontario, in Sudbury, the Sioux, Englehart, Little Current, and Timmins as well. The camps include 4 hours of ice time per player over the course of 4 days. You get NOHA practice sweater. You get an NOHA branded water bottle. Each camp will be planned using Hockey Canada skill development material and will be facilitated by select coaches in each area. And they are doing a giveaway currently for those that register before Monday, December 1st. So you only have a few days. But if you register before then, you have a chance to win free registration. So to register or find out more, head over to noha-hockey.ca. So some cool news coming out of the world of Lakers Lacrosse as they finally have announced their Canadian University Field Lacrosse Association Major Awards and All-Canadian Team Honors. Jason Knox was named 2025 Outstanding Attack of the Year and a member of an All-Canadian team by CUFLA. Zach Tarr was named Outstanding Midfielder of the Year and a member of the All-Canadian team by CUFLA as well. And Callum Jeffrey was named Outstanding Short Stick Defensive Midfielder as well as an All-Canadian in the 2025 CUFLA End of Season Awards.
The Lakers coaching staff was also named the 2025 CUFLA Coaching Staff of the Year for this season. And the Lakers, of course, were led by head coach Jason Rudge, who we've had on the show a number of times. Also on that coaching staff, assistant coach Keegan Laguerre and assistant coach Josh Laporte. Some updates from the Lakers and Panthers scores, starting with Lakers women's ice hockey. Last weekend, they went down to Ottawa and played Carleton on the Friday and won 1-0. And then on Saturday, played Ottawa and lost 4-0. Coming up this weekend, the Lady Lakers play against the University of Guelph here in North Bay on Saturday at 7 o'clock.
For the men's hockey, they had just the one game last week on Saturday night. They hosted RMC and won 5-1. 2 games on the schedule for this weekend. Saturday, they host Queens at 4 o'clock at the Memorial Gardens. And then Sunday at 3 p.m., they host Ontario Tech.
In women's basketball action, the Lakers played York University here in town and lost 70-64. And then this weekend, the Lakers head down to Toronto to play U of T tonight at 6 o'clock and TMU tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
The men's also hosted York. They came away with a victory, though, 102-80. They are also in Toronto this weekend. They play tonight at 8 p.m. against the University of Toronto and then play TMU on Saturday night at 8 p.m.
And lastly, volleyball for the Lakers. The girls headed down to Toronto last weekend and had a doubleheader against U of T. On Friday, they lost in straight sets, and on Saturday, similar result as they lost in straight sets. This weekend, they host Western at 6 o'clock tonight and 2 o'clock tomorrow.
And the men's volleyball also were in Toronto. They also dropped both games Friday, 3-2, and then on Saturday in straight sets. And just like the women's on Friday and Saturday, they host Western here at Nipissing on Friday at 8 o'clock and Saturday at 4 p.m.
Moving to the Panthers, the men's basketball team had a pair of tough losses last weekend. Saturday against Redeemer, 100-74, and Sunday against Sheridan, 110-76. But looking at their final two games for this 2025 year, I guess, they play tomorrow against Niagara in town at 1 o'clock, and then Sunday against Conestoga at 1 o'clock.
And on the volleyball side, it was a good week for the women's volleyball as they were hosting Fleming and Loyalist. They beat Fleming 3-0 and also beat Loyalist 3-1. They have no games coming up until coming back from the January break. So that's it for their 2025 portion of their season. And the men's also played Fleming and Loyalist. They beat both those teams in straight sets. And just like the women's, they are not back in action until the beginning of January. So one more week of Lakers before they go on their Christmas break. And the Panthers already on their Christmas break. So we're starting to get into that, not a lull, but a little bit of a, sports are starting to kind of slow down a little bit as we head into the holidays.
Yeah, no more football.
No more football. Who knows? Maybe there's going to be the All Stars of the All Stars.
Oh, it could be.
Could be. But there's some cool stuff coming up next week, though, because we'll have the tournament. We'll have some stuff there. Hopefully, we'll have a finals from either Scholar or Algonquin that will be, or Chippewa, could be. I had to put that nod in there for you. I will say you are rocking the Chippewa hockey crest. That is a great crest.
I love it. I can't believe we aren't keeping it. I think we're looking for a new logo, and right now it just says Chippewa Ravens, but I love it.
Because the women's use that. I saw that. The women's had that. The men's, though, not as big. That's a good one. Badminton. There you go. The women's on the other, so the women's use it, for their hockey. The men's, I'm not a big fan of the men's. It just, so for the people who haven't seen it, it just says Ravens, almost in like a sporting good or if you were going to a mechanic or something, something that you'd see on like a NASCAR or like IndyCar series.
Yeah, very generic, not very flashy, just no personality.
I was surprised. I was expecting that crest on the jerseys, and
I hope they have, I think one's in the works, a Raven-ish one. I'm hoping that one is coming out soon.
You know what you should do? And I'm not a graphic designer, but it would be cool if you guys were able to incorporate a Raven into the logo.
Yes.
Especially considering, I don't know if you guys have had a logo. You haven't had a logo refresh at all.
Since the one that will not be named, really. But yeah, we haven't had much of anything. We had the Thunderbird just briefly. It was just sort of around.
It would be neat, but that's also a lot of money to rebrand an entire school. But you could do some cool things there. I don't know. Do you guys have, in the sports, do you have autonomy to be able to do some of that stuff? Or do you have to, is there a lot of red tape to go through when it comes to what goes on the jerseys?
I think it's pretty well autonomous. I feel like Chippewa volleyball and basketball get new jerseys every year. So I feel like we could get somewhere. We could
do something. Okay, well, we'll talk. Again, I'm not a graphic designer, but I can give you some ideas. We'll see. But you had a cool story. Just as we wrap things up for the Sportscast this week, you had a pretty neat story as you went back down south, back into the land of America to visit your girlfriend. I remember because you left here last week when we recorded. Her parents were driving you down. First of all, how was the trip down? Because you were not looking forward to that trip down, I don't think.
It was good. They do it a little different than me. They like to stop places.
And you're not a stopper.
I'm not a big stopper. And then I had to do it in the backseat. I had to make the whole trip in the backseat, which hasn't happened in a long time. But it was good. The Dearborn girls went to play the Ann Arbor girls, which is always a big rivalry, I guess. The Ann Arbor girls like to call them the Walmart Wolverines. But the Dearborn girls, they went down into Ann Arbor at Yost Arena, where the NCAA men's play, and beat them 2-0. And then when we came back, we ended up playing in Detroit for Dearborn's home game, and we played at the Little Caesars Arena, the Detroit Red Wings practice rink, and beat them 5-1.
There you go.
So the Walmart Wolverines prevailed, which I believe they're 13-0-1, or after that weekend, 15-0-1. And last year they were only 15-13.
How was going into an NHL practice rink? What was that experience like?
It was great. There was a little door that was very well labeled, and then we were met with full security with a metal detector and the wand, the whole bit. And then we went down there, and there was good seating for a practice rink, and concessions were open.
Oh, there you go.
It was fantastic.
Were
It was
the Red
the
Wings
real
in town?
They were not in town.
That's probably why. You guys could
that
use
was
it.
that was definitely why.
That was one of those things when I started watching sports, when I realized that they don't actually practice at the fields. Because I guess baseball they have to because they're playing the same day. But like hockey, when I watch a lot of soccer, like they have their own training grounds and stuff. Like it's kind of funny how like they only use the rink for the actual games, which is like, does it feel like a home field advantage or a home ice advantage when you never play? Like you're not playing in that rink, they're not practicing on it.
Yeah, probably not on the ice. I don't know, but it probably is just the fans that make it the home ice advantage or comfort. Maybe I don't know.
It was just, and obviously you're not traveling, you're at home, but it was just kind of funny because that kind of shocked me. I'm surprised that they wouldn't. When I first found that out, I was surprised they wouldn't practice, in the actual rink. Like they had like separate areas and stuff that they would go to. But anyways, that's kind of a neat cool little story there, and I'm sure there's a lot more hockey to come from her.
Oh yeah, I think they're only about halfway through, and she had 3 assists last weekend. She's doing quite well, and they're looking ahead to nationals. They're 5th ranked in their loop, and so that's great. That's great.
And she'll play for, what's that new PWHL team? Is it Vancouver?
Yeah,
that they have. Yeah. They have a cool name though, isn't it? Like the
Golden Eyes,
or something like James
the Golden
Bond.
Hawks, something
Hawks,
like that.
That's fair. I did see them, because I noticed that they were new. I saw a bunch of stuff on socials, but I remember seeing the name and being like, that was a cool name. Like I feel like there's not that many cool names anymore. Like the best names come from baseball minor league teams.
Oh yeah,
like the Phoenixes or like the Zephyrs or whoever. Like there's like some really cool names, and that's why like some of the NHL names are fine. I'm not a big fan of Utah's. Like should have been the Yetis or something. But
I agree. I can't believe it's the Mammoth.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
No,
and they kind of stole. They stole. Was it the Panthers? If you look at their logo, it looks a lot like another logo in the league, and I think it might have been the Panthers logo. I was like, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. For a rebranded team, it's fine.
It's just weird thinking of Utah in the NHL.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I miss Phoenix.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Arizona's no longer in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had cool jerseys. I like their third jersey with the little dog. Was
Absolutely.
it a dog? It was a coyote, I guess, technically.
No, but they were cool. They had flavor.
It has to go. The Diamondbacks, cool name. I don't know. Arizona has some cool. The Cardinals, not so cool coming from a Seahawks fan, but
classic.
Sure.
Not cool, but classic.
A lot of cool things coming up next week, though. We'll have the NDA tournament. We'll have more basketball, more volleyball action. We'll have some Lakers stuff because it is American Thanksgiving, and you are going to be brought all over the place to go to a bunch of different Lakers stuff. So that'll be fun.
I'm going to love it.
So that wraps things up for us. If you have any sports that you want covered, if you want to send us any information, you can always reach out to us either on socials at North Bay Echo, or you can reach out to me via email, ben@northbayecho.ca. Thank you so much again for watching. And this has been Sportscast number 63. I'm Ben Sargent.
I'm Jackson Bull.
Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing, and commenting, and we'll see you next week.